let you know something, baby girl. Listen up. I'm gonna keep it real for you real quick. Yeah. She know I'm leaving the soaking. She know she fuck with my motion. She know my body's a potion. And then I rub her with lotion. Got all these feelings exploded when she come over. She holding just like that nine I be toting. I make her fall.
Yes, a murder of musicians. This is FX2 hosting a murder of musicians, and I'm here with AS.KING.I.RISE. What's up, buddy?
What's good, my boy? How you been doing?
Been good, man. Chilling out. I love how you got this smooth track that we just heard a little bit of Leo Season, which just dropped. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this track? Because, I mean, this to me is like a panty dropper.
So Leo Season, it's actually funny because I was hanging out with my homeboy, and it was me, my brother, and my homeboy, and we was just sitting. My homeboy makes music too, so we were just sitting talking about the different type of tracks that we had, and we was looking through my my library or whatever, and he was like, "You don't got no love songs," and I was like, "I kind of do," and he was like, "You don't got no like truthful love songs that like anybody can listen to,
Yeah.
not just like specific like my female or something like that."
Right.
So I sat down. I was like, "Yeah, I really don't." So I got real drunk one night, and then I just started putting shit together.
Dude, well, what you put together is fucking dope, man. Like, the song Leo Season, I know we were speaking off the air. I told you that shit, like, really resonated with me right off the bat. You know, like, I heard that
Oh yeah.
deep vocal track that you laid down, man. And I know we were chit-chatting about it. So you had lost your voice going into this recording process?
Yeah, the night before, we had me and my brother were doing a lot of drinking, and we had ended up getting into some arguments with some people and some fights with some people and whatnot. And then the next morning, immediately after, we went and hooped, and we did a lot more screaming then. And we almost forgot about the studio session. And then we looked at the time. It was like, yeah, I got a session. And on the way, it's about an hour drive out to the studio that I go to out there when I was living out in Missouri.
Uh-huh.
And it was as I'm getting out there, I'm like trying to warm up my voice or whatnot. I sing a few tracks so I can warm up my voice before I do hit the studio. And I just realized I can't sing worth a damn right now. Ain't nothing's coming out. I can barely talk. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? We're halfway here. So we there, and I was just like, let's see how it sounds just like with the deep voice and see where we can get it there. And I'll try and push out whatever I can push out. And luckily, I was able to push out every word. Talking, you would barely notice that I had a voice. But for some reason, once I started recording, everything came out the way it needed to. I actually made another track that night, too, but I ain't dropped that one yet.
Really? I'm excited. Is
Yeah,
this
so I
gonna
got
be another
sound
track like this one, like Leo Season, where it's like kind of a love song?
No, it's it's more like drill, but it's more of the low voice.
Hell yeah. I'm really excited to hear that low voice. I know I definitely was speaking to you before we got on the air about that. I was like, is that you? You got such a low vocal track on
Yeah.
there. So
Every time I play it, I get that same exact question. Is that your voice?
is that
I'm like,
your
yeah,
voice?
that's mine.
It's so
That's my voice.
distinctively different than like the rest of your stuff, but it's not at
Mhm.
all like an
Right.
inferior version of yourself. It's actually it's not enhancing your vocal tracks, but it's showing your versatility, which I think is a really great thing to show people in
Right.
collaborations and things where you're working with other musicians. They're always looking for people that have versatility, whether it be
Right.
vocals if you're a singer, or if you play an instrument. If you're versatile and you're able to jump on different octaves, which you showed
Mhm.
great in Leo Season. That's awesome. Now that we heard the back story to it, it makes more sense, and I like the song even more now. That's great. So,
Right.
like when you see, I want to stay there for a second with Leo Season. So you're on the way to the studio, and you know your voice
Hmm.
is shot and shipped. Now, did you start to like think differently about writing the track because of your voice limitations, or did you go in it with the same mindset?
No, it was strictly the track was supposed to sound completely different. Um, my voice wasn't going to be as low. It was going to be a normal singing voice. But once I got to the studio, I kind of had to make a decision on what I was going to do: either just cancel the whole session in itself, or try it a different way. And when I make tracks, anyways, I like to have 3, 4 different versions of them, so they all don't sound the same, so I can decipher which one I really do fuck with the most and which one I do want to put out there. So it's not much of I'm already going to do that. So now, instead of having the track done and now I can do a different one, now it's more of, okay, now I got to think on the fly of what I can make this sound like and what we can do. And the engineer that I had that night too did a hell of a job with helping me out and helping me decide what I should do with the voice and how I should go about putting the words on the track.
Yeah, it's always an advantage for you as a musician to have input and feedback from other people in the room. Sometimes somebody like an engineer, producer, or something can have like a little idea about the way a track should turn at this particular juncture, and it just changes the whole
Yeah.
composition.
Yeah, it
So,
goes a long way. I try to bring 2, 3 people to the studio with me when I do go to my session, so it's not just me and the engineer listening to something, because I know how I want it to sound. He knows how I want it to sound and how he's gonna, make it sound. But having those extra people there, it's more of having, newer ears, so it's a better opinion on what's going on with the track.
absolutely, man. That's a huge variable. I think that a lot of musicians are neglecting nowadays is like not so much collaborations, but getting constructive criticism, getting some feedback on your lyrics, or the riff you put down or something. It's just so beneficial to hear, like you said, fresh ears, get fresh ears on the track,
Yeah,
because you might be missing
yeah, I try to
something.
do, but what I've noticed is a lot of artists out here don't like being told, what to do on their tracks or how this sounds or whatever after they've put something down. And a lot, they take it as disrespect, but I don't even see it as disrespect. I see it as that's another way to make me better, instead of, oh, you're just talking shit. No, I'm running my mouth because I think you could be better in this type of way. So maybe if you were, try different ways, you can see it for yourself or something. Don't always take it as, oh, you're just talking shit. You think you're him. You think you got a big head, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that ego stands in our way sometimes, right? It's like, we
Yeah.
get a little bit disheartened, and if somebody didn't, feel our track right out of the gate. And that could be
Mhm.
a roadblock in your musical career if you're not able to take
Right.
creative criticism. So that's awesome. I really love hearing stuff like that from musicians, because it's so integral to furthering your career and leveling up. I know that you've got another track that dropped before Leo season, which I was, head over heels. That's the reason why I got in touch with you for a second time to come on this podcast, because you dropped a track called
Yeah.
Reborn, and that's on
Yeah.
that really captured my attention. I put it on Apple one day, and that shit, I was playing it on repeat. So tell me about that one, because that one's pretty deep.
Yeah. Reborn is you can call it kind of a continuous track from almost that Leo season, from Rescued. Reborn and Rescue go together. So how I did it, Reborn is everything that I want to do better, that I'm doing better, how my life has changed for the better. The suicidal tendencies have stopped, the depression hasn't hit so hard, my anxiety's going down, everything like that. Basically saying I'm in better spirits than I was when I dropped
The Rescued,
Rescued.
yeah.
At this point, I've kind of been rescued at this point. Now I've been rescued. Now I've been reborn. So I'm making a new life for myself. I'm not doing the same things that I was doing in my past life to keep me going downhill or backwards. So now it's just, it's a better light,
Yeah, I got that feeling when I was listening to it, and I put it next to your last EP or single that you dropped that we featured on the show, which was The Rescue. And we really went into
Mhm.
depth about how that was tied into, a mental health condition. And we spoke about that. So
Mhm.
when I put on Reborn, and I remembered The Rescue, like I said, I put them next to each other, the tracks, and I says, wow, this is a continuation of where he left off,
Mhm.
which is, it's,
Mhm.
I think it's a lost art now. I remember back in the day, musicians used to do that, almost like a cliffhanger to the next album. So were you
Yeah.
planning for that to happen, or just because of what had happened in your life that you had a new perspective on stuff and you wrote from that perspective?
So what actually happened was, so I wrote Reborn and Rescued a little over a year ago now, maybe even longer than that. But when I was first writing them, I wrote Rescued, and I wanted Rescued to go into not just be about my depression and suicide and everything like that. I wanted mainly the ending of that song to go into, okay, now it's a better light. Now he's reborn. Now da 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 da. Everything's getting better, and what you're doing, that's better. But I ran into the problem of I had about a 6-minute track. I didn't want it to be that long. I like my tracks either between like 2:45 to no longer than like 3:45, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so I took the end of Rescued and I cut it off. And I just cut it off, and I put an ending on Rescued. And then I left Reborn. I left the end of that alone for a while. I didn't come back to it because I usually when I write with emotion. So whatever I'm feeling and the part of my life is what I'm going to write about. And at the time, I was still dealing with my depression and everything. So about another 5-6 months went on. I went back to my phone. I happened to see it in my phone, just on another note, because I copied and pasted into another note section, so I just wouldn't be there with Reborn. And I just started jotting more shit down. At that point, things were going better. My life was moving forward. I was making things happen. I wasn't in a dark spot anymore, so I was able to finish the song, and it came out a whole lot better than it would have if I would have kept it on the same thing as Rescued.
Right.
And I definitely I would have used the same name.
Dude, I fucking really, really dig that shit because it's showing once again the versatility of you as an artist. You're tapping into that source creativity from a depressive standpoint. Then you're able to turn it on
Hmm.
its head and do a complete 180 and show everyone that you can come out of a depression and you can reach
Right.
the light again and be able to use that emotion and put it down as lyrics. I find that so valuable for people that are listening because, it's easy to identify with depressive shit, but we got to come out of that downward spiral and we got to
Hmm.
persevere. So hearing you speak about being down and then coming back up is really inspirational for people out there. I really commend you for doing that, man. That's awesome. And then
Appreciate it.
my question is, you talked about you're doing the rescued from a depressive standpoint, then reborn a little bit in a better state of mind, not a little bit, in a lot better state of mind. Now, do you find it easier or harder to write in any of those states? Like depressed, if you're depressed, is it easier to write? Or if you're happy, is it easier to write?
Honestly, it doesn't like depend what specific mood it is. It depends on how strong the mood is. So it
Ah,
depends on how happy, how depressed I am, because I'll get in my depressed states and not do shit.
right.
I'll sit on the couch for 2 weeks. I won't I
Mm-hmm.
won't post anything about my anything like that. But when I'm like deep into it to where it's like it's killing me, for some reason I get the most inspiration that I usually get, and I will just jot it all down.
That's so interesting. Wow. Yeah, I definitely could relate. how you said, you sit around, do shit for 2 weeks, right? I get in those depressive states myself. And snapping out of that is, hard at times. But when you have something
Hmm.
like music, I find that you can use it therapeutically. It sounds to me like you're
Almost.
doing that, right?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely got ways of stress relief. Trying to get me happy or whatever. I'll go and hop on my motorcycle real quick, or go to the football field and do some practice and some
Nice.
stuff like that.
Where do you find your most inspiration comes from, or not inspiration? Let me back that up. When you want to just clear your mind, right? Almost like a
Hmm.
meditative state where, people meditate. You get that from riding your motorcycle, I'm assuming, or something like that. Do you
Yeah,
have
my bike gives me the most,
your
the
bike
most,
gives you the most? That's really,
yeah, most
really
work.
interesting. Do you use riding your bike, for example, to clear your mind before you do a creative endeavor, or is it just unconscious that you'll jump on your bike just to chillax?
It's just unconscious. I rarely plan to get on my bike. It's not like oh, today's Tuesday, 4 o'clock comes and it's time to ride my bike. It's more of I'm putting my gloves on to get on my bike and I'm on my bike.
Yeah, man. Well, what I'm getting at with that is a lot of people, when they're trying to do something creative, I believe that you can become prisoner of your own mind, right? You start preparing too much to write, or, doing
Yeah,
these little
definitely.
oddities, right?
Yeah, most definitely. When I've never sat down and been like, okay, this is my writing time. When I write, like, to me, for the songs that I think are my best tracks that I have in my library right now, I start writing those while I'm driving.
Really?
I'm usually driving a car for some reason when I get my best tracks.
That's interesting. I know Post Malone says he writes all of his tracks when he's on the shitter. Uh, I found that pretty funny, but it makes sense, and it also that's almost similar to you where you're driving your car. So let's look at that for a second. Do you
Mhm.
believe that it's possible when you really shut your mind off, get in that meditative state, or driving, you're not thinking about writing, or if you're riding your motorcycle, you're not thinking about writing, and then that's where
Mhm.
you get the most inspiration from. I
Yeah, for some reason something pops in my head and I can't resist not writing it down, and then from there I just can't stop writing. I'm usually driving home in the middle of a chorus or something.
Wow. So let me ask you
I've
this
had
then.
time. I, huh?
When you're driving home and you get that chorus in your head, I'm assuming you don't have any beats going, any melodies going. You're just coming up with the lyrics.
Yeah, I don't write to beats. I don't
Okay.
like to write to beats because I feel like it gives me only one flow as I'm writing. For some reason, I've tried writing to beats, and when I first started, after maybe like 6 7 months, I met a guy who told me to try writing without any music in the background or anything. So ever since I tried that, that's the only way I write. I don't write to music anymore. I find it better to switch up my flows. It's easier to for me to have bigger punchlines coming in with different flows and everything like that, and it's not the same flow throughout the whole song. And when for some reason, whenever I go look for a beat or I go have one made, it's perfect. It just fits.
It fits with what you had written prior to that. That's pretty
Yep.
fucking unique. That's great advice for everyone out there writing lyrics. Try to do it without writing to the beat. Probably a lot of people get sucked into listening to the beat over and over and trying to force lyrics out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, it must be that you're trying to force it. And that goes back to everything that we were saying about chillaxing, getting to that balance where you're
Mhm.
not thinking about writing. And then that's where it comes from. That's probably one
Mhm.
of these biggest, conundrums where you're like, you want to write lyrics, but you are thinking too much about writing lyrics. It's like one of those those things that
Yeah.
don't make sense, So you were
It's the easiest way to get right. Like,
right, isn't it? When you start thinking
the
about it
easiest.
too much.
Yeah.
What
I've
else?
had times where have to put my phone down and come back to it like an hour later or something like that and finish writing.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go with the next question that I have for you. This is crazy because I have a lot of difficulties when it comes to writing lyrics. I could write beats all day long, but lyrics, it's a very
Hmm.
difficult process for me. So this is why I love speaking to people like yourself that write really, deep lyrics and could, spit it out with the best of them.
Yeah.
So when you're coming back to something like an hour later, how do you maintain the same emotions?
It really depends on what I'm writing about. If it's just like if I'm just writing like some bullshit down that I'm just making like a little club vibe or just a little a rap that's not too serious, but it's going to be serious. It really just comes secondhand. You just come back to it and you just go with it. My serious tracks though that like I've had to sit down and think about or whatever, or that I've actually put some thought into, or life events and stuff like that. Those ones that I've stopped and came back to. It takes me maybe 10 to 15 minutes to get back into that emotion, to get back into those flows and everything like that. Most of the time, I have to leave myself a voice memo on my phone of how I leave off or how I had my flow. So when I do come back, I can get back into it the exact same way that I want to get back into it. So it's not me coming back and switching anything up or forgetting how a flow went. So now I'm changing the flow of the complete song, because I'll do that too. I'll actually leave it there so I know what I'm exactly coming back to.
That's great piece of advice right there. So you're leaving yourself a voice memo just kind of as a way to reignite where you left off when you come back to it.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I didn't even think to do something like that. That's great. See, this is the reasoning for asking questions to lyricists. I mean, we're unraveling a lot of this stuff that
Yeah.
people could perceive as really, like next level, like, oh my God, I can't comprehend how people are writing these lyrics that are so,
Hmm.
transcendent, which yours are. I mean,
Yeah.
they really touch on emotions. And
Hmm.
hearing you talk about your process has just been really revealing. And I'm excited to hear some more stuff from you that's coming out soon. I know we were talking off the air. You got something else about to drop soon, right?
Yeah, I got I went and recorded my producer or my engineer gave me a free session for my birthday, so we recorded a birthday track last week. So he should be finishing up with that in the next few days, so I can get it dropped here in the next week or two.
That's what's up. Happy birthday, belated.
Appreciate
Yeah, you turning what, 18 now? Fucking with you.
it.
Yeah,
The way
well,
I look, people might think I don't.
yeah, man. No, you look mad young, to be honest with you. You do.
Yeah, people are so I tell them I'm 26. I'm 26. And I'm like, no, you're not. Look at my ID.
Yeah, man. You better cherish that staying 26, man. When you get to be my
I
age,
ain't.
this shit sucks.
I'm gonna have that baby face for a minute.
Nice, nice. So, listen, I want to ask you too. Some other. Let's get technical. What type of
Okay.
equipment you're using now for your vocals?
Um. So when I record myself, I do like my demo tracks in my kitchen or my or my bedroom closet.
Hey,
So
man, that's
my
it.
best place in my I open my fridge and I record in my or my freezer in my kitchen.
What?
Um,
Get
and
out of
I just
here.
use no, I use
What?
BandLab. I use it. I use my freezer. I use some headphones. I'm waiting for my studio equipment to come in, my mic stand and everything like that. But right now, I'll go to my for anything that I do for like drill music or anything like that, just rapping. I'll go into the bedroom and I use the closet, or I'll just do an open space. Or anything that I'm singing and like have a vocal on, I'll go into my freezer.
Holy shit. Let me just pause right there because that's fucking the first time I've ever heard someone say that they record their vocals in their freezer. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Well, oh my,
yeah.
holy shit. Good thing you didn't call yourself Vanilla Ice. That was a gay joke. But anyway, yo, dude, just talked to another artist who was telling me that they record their vocals in their vehicle, in their car, in a parking lot down in Atlanta where it's mad hot, which is crazy in the summer.
Mm.
And they get a really good sound because it's like a vacuum. I'd never thought to go into a freezer or refrigerator though. I'm gonna have to try that shit out later.
I don't know what happened. Look, I was literally I was in my I was about to start recording a song, and I was talking to a homeboy, and he was telling me that there's different, ways that you can record to get different sounds or whatever. And he was like, because I use BandLab when I practice before I go to the studio.
Okay.
So he told me that what he does is he gets a shoebox. He's got a mic and everything, but he gets a shoebox and he gets a T-shirt for his phone and whatnot, wraps it around, goes into a closet, and does it like that. Well, I wanted my voice naturally. Sorry, my dogs are making a mess. You already know they
Are
are.
you good?
My excuse me, my voice carries naturally, so I need something to restrict my voice from going too far, and everywhere in my apartment, I can't do it. So for some reason, when I open up that freezer, I take everything out of the freezer. I make sure like the refrigerator isn't making that running sound,
Right, yeah.
so it's not in the beat either. And I take everything out of the freezer and I give me a little space. I put me a bowl in there. I hang my mic from the top of the freezer so it's going into the freezer or whatnot. And I put me a T-shirt in there so I can have something stopping it eventually, other than just the back of the freezer, because sometimes it's too far. But for some reason, I recorded one track and it came out so good. And I don't mix and master. So it's just what I have on BandLab and like the auto tune and everything like that you can do on there. And I just do what I know. Man, when I came out with this track, I said, damn, this motherfucker's gotta sound good.
That's some cold, ice cold shit. Man, I would never.
Putting in this freezer. I said, let me try the microwave next.
You be trying all the appliances in your house.
You can use some shit in your house to record, man. You
Oh,
can. You
my
really
God.
can. I ain't know that until I tried. You can. You don't need all the expensive ass shit until you really want to lay down your track. But just some demo shit, I open my freezer all the time.
That's fucking awesome. That's fucking gangster right there. You're gonna spawn a whole generation of people recording in their appliances. This is fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
You know, man, that's nothing to knock at all because you got the right idea right there. Instead of fucking sweating your ass off in a closet, put your head in the freezer.
Put your head in the freezer. And I mean, like, eventually by the time you're finished recording, your voice gonna be a little different because you're in that cold, But if you get to the point where you can stand far back enough and project your voice enough to where the mic picks it up perfect, it's not coming out too far this way or that way, you won't even feel like you in a freezer. You just feel like you in an open area of your kitchen and you just got a door open.
That's for sure, man, because you dropping those fire lyrics, so it's balancing out the cold.
Pull them off a little bit.
Oh yes, definitely. That's fucking what's up. So what type of mic you using? A condenser mic or a dynamic? Because people are always questioning which they should use, especially with BandLab.
I'm actually waiting for my mics to still come in the mail. I've been waiting for damn near a month now, actually, when I think about it. I usually use my Apple headphones.
That's a good way to put down some lyrics right, on the fly, especially in BandLab. The Apple, is that what you're using right now? The Apple AirPods?
Like what I have in now?
Yeah. Are you just talking right on the phone?
Oh, you're on speaker, my boy.
Wow. Okay. We got a great connection then.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, a lot of people are very confused when it comes to dynamic and condenser mics, and I know this is the basic little bit of information, but people out there are still a little confused. So, just for anybody that's guessing, dynamic mics are going to be for talking right up close to the microphone. They're not going to get all of that ambient sound that's in the room or buzzings from fans. Condenser mics, on the other hand, that's going to pick up everything. You could put that on and you could
Right.
spy on your next door neighbor. That's the shit that I be doing. Put on that condenser mic. After your boys leave the room, you put the condenser mic up and you hear who's talking shit.
Damn, I'm gonna do
Right? That's
new
what
ideas.
Yeah, man. That's what this podcast is great for. We come up with ideas. So ready, we know now we can record vocals in the freezer. We can listen to our boys talking shit or somebody, our next door neighbor. Yeah, when your girl leaves the room, she's leaving the room to talk to her girlfriends or something. You just turn the gain up on your condenser mic and you can get it up.
Okay, you ain't for me.
We're doing all that shit. Yeah, man. I'm loving this right now because we're opening up people's eyes to the world of recording, and it's not that crazy of a serious process. I know a lot of people stress out when they get to the recording process. You may have a lot of good imagination, your imagination's running, you're getting creative ideas and shit. You got the melody and the beat in your head and the lyrics, and then you go to record and you overthink. And do you ever like come to a point where you're like, holy shit, like I'm just thinking way too much about like the technical side of shit, where you're fucking around with gains and effects and stuff like that. You ever find yourself in that hole?
Yeah, a whole lot, being someone who's new to mixing and mastering, period. Like, I've never done anything on until I got BandLab a few months ago, with changing, anything with my voice, putting the whole track together, period. You know what I mean? I had to teach myself with all of that. It wasn't anything like real too hard. I got it pretty quick, but I'm still not there with making everything how I want it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, you probably know this better than me. I fooled around with BandLab, not that much though. I believe they have something after you're finished with the track, like a mastering option, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they I think you got to pay for it. No, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
They will do their little mixing and mastering for what their company, whatever you want to call it, engineers think that it should sound like or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's an option for people that aren't that familiar with the end mix down process. If
Mm-hmm.
you're if
Or
it
even,
is
what I use for stuff like that, my homeboy put me on eMastered. Pretty sure it's like $17 a month, or for like 3 months or something like that. But I do my track on BandLab. I download it from BandLab. I go over to eMastered on my Safari page or whatever, and I download it onto eMastered, and it gives me my regular version, and they'll mix and master it too, so all my levels are correct.
That's fucking really cool. I did not know that existed as a website, eMasters.
Yeah, just Google eMastered, and it goes from there. I was interested in it when my homeboy brought it to my attention, and he showed me the differences between his track and the way eMastered had it, and I was like, "Yep, I'm hopping on that real quick."
That's what's up. Definitely. Thank you for that little bit of advice. All these little bits of information end up accumulating and make such a big difference in your music. So everybody that's listening, these are little things to just fool around with, experiment with. What's $17 if it's going to turn your entire performance into a professional caliber? You
Right,
really got to
right.
make
Especially if you don't got
investments.
to do it.
Yeah, I believe that it does pay, no pun intended, to invest in yourself. And
Yeah, literally.
you have to. I mean, let's face it, we're gonna spend $17 on bullshit. right? Probably fucking 2
Right.
cups of coffee and a donut. So
Right.
why not
$7.
like, yeah, exactly. So these are little things that I've found that have helped me out. Not BandLab, but that eMasters I'm gonna try because that sounds like it's
Mm.
a really beneficial service to use. And I also wanted to bring up Spotify for a second, if we might, because Spotify has a program that I was just looking into called Spotify Marquee. Did you ever hear of that?
No.
So, check this out. Spotify Marquee, you're able to um, have your track after it's released get pushed onto curated playlists, and when your song pops up, there'll be an action button for the listener to hit, and it'll go right to your Spotify page. And I know
Oh
that
shit.
that costs a pretty penny. I think it's hundreds. It's 100 or more dollars, but it's another way to gain followers, to gain some audience members, something to consider. So Spotify Marquee,
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck I just
Playlist.
thought of that, but it's something. It's a little piece of information, that'll take you to the next
Yeah.
level. And
Yeah,
where
well, definitely. You get out there more.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna ask. Like, how do you go about networking or promoting your stuff? Is it just word of mouth, or do you put in time to make posts or try to outsource some advertising?
Yeah, see, my marketing and everything, I got a structure to it when I'm actually following it the right way. I Google, what I first do is I get on the internet and I Google what are the best times to make posts on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, or now X, Instagram, everything like that. I'll set alarms in my phone for those specific times. So every day for TikTok, if it's best time to post on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 4 p.m., 7 p.m., and 9 a.m. I have all those alarms set in my phone for the different social medias and different times that the most people are going to view my accounts and view what will be dropped on the algorithms for the day. Um, so I'll have a better chance of being looked at. I try to go live every day at noon on my Facebook, even if I'm just playing Fortnite or Rocket League and just bullshitting. I'll always throw music and get music involved in it. I have 2 Instagrams, 2 Facebooks, a Snapchat, Twitter. Everything has a professional mode on it, so it can. So it also has music on the another page with it. Instagram also has my photography page on it. I also pay people to drop posts on their accounts for me, on their stories, on their main pages, whatever type of advertising that I can do. I know a lot of people who actually have like good views and whatnot on like their Snapchats and whatnot. There's a guy down here who gets 10K plus views a day. He does comedy and stuff, so he charges about $50, $30 to $50 or whatever to do some advertising, whatever, and it helps out a lot when you get new eyes on your stuff.
Yeah,
Other than that,
it really does.
I try and stick to something that's going to help me instead of just throwing out, hey, this is my song. Listen to it when it drops on whatever account. I use DistroKid, so they have a lot of marketing and promoting things that they do. So I'm always making little mini videos, mini clips, different cards, so I can send out tracks and whatnot and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's a lot. Let me unpack that here. You started off by saying you set your alarm, right, for different times. Now,
Yeah.
I have heard both sides debate on this topic that it does matter what time you make posts, and other people have debated that it does not matter because it's going to be shown to people's feeds when they log on. Have you been able to like quantifiably see if it works or not? To
See what I have found out for myself, and you always got to remember, yeah, it's going to be when they log on or whatever, but you have to remember you are in different time zones. So regardless, it's going to depend on the algorithm of that person's social media. So say, but for mine, if you get on my Facebook and look at my Facebook reels, you're going to see all motorcycles. That's about it. Because
Okay.
that's the only thing. Like when I'm watching something, I'll hit the like button on all motorcycles. So my algorithm is going to be motorcycles, no matter when they're dropped, no matter um, what day they were dropped or anything like that. I could have videos from the days before. But what they're doing is it's going to take that algorithm and it's going to take it into the times that I'm usually on my phone. And what people still forget is your phone knows everything. Your phone knows what you're going to do. Your phone is an algorithm in itself
It
because
is.
you're on your phone at time and you're usually on social media when you can be on social media. And if you have a job, that means you're R structured. So you're going to be on that social media around the same time every day anyways. So that's why like TikTok, they have For You pages and they have their main page or whatever. They have their news feeds or whatever. They have the For You and then news feeds for like, let me see what it specifically calls. Well, I don't need the line for your following. So you have your following and For You. When you like when I drop on TikTok, my TikToks can get 20 likes to or 20 views to 18,000 views. You know, it depends on what I drop and what time I drop them. What I've noticed when I do drop at the time that I'm supposed to drop on TikTok, I get the most views. I usually range between 800 to 1,600 views within a few hours when I do drop correctly on TikTok. And that's usually because it's going on mainly For You pages and it's not going on just people who are following you. Because once you do that, if you go on to just people who are following you, then it's going to get to they're only seeing it when they're going on their pages, you know, when they're going on their social
Oh.
media. If you're on the For You, when it's drops and it gets dropped on a For You page, it means that everyone, no matter where they are in the world, no matter what time they are at, that's where it's going to drop and it's going to be seen.
Wow.
Period.
Okay.
Not going to be only people following you. It's going to be seen to everyone at this point.
Okay,
So when I
that
drop
makes
on
sense.
TikTok, I try to stick to that structure on TikTok because it actually it benefits you. Facebook, it's Facebook. I found you can really drop a reel whenever the hell you want to. My professional page does pretty good, but like my regular page on Facebook, when I'm just dropping videos of more of my motorcycle or just dropping little snippets or whatever, the views aren't magnificent or anything like that. That's what I've noticed. My
What
TikTok and Instagram, I get views, and Instagram I use usually because I drop a lot of videos of my dogs. My dogs gets like 18,000 views a day.
really?
My
Shit.
yeah, my TikTok I have over 10K followers on TikTok, so it helps out a lot too.
Damn. That's what's up. So, do you besides the time that you're posting or the day that you're posting, do you put a lot of time and effort into the content that you're going to be posting and target your audiences on different platforms?
Oh, most definitely. It takes me when I'm doing it that way, it takes me an hour to drop a post.
Okay.
From
So
from start to or whatever I start, if I'm making a video or anything like that, it takes me an hour before I hit that send button.
for each platform, or are you just
Yeah,
resizing and reformatting the same content?
I, I try to use different videos.
Ah, that's good.
That's it. If you just use the same video for everything, say you already following me on all of my social medias. I
Right.
drop the same video on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, and everything. You've already seen the video on Snapchat, so why are you going to all these other accounts to look at it?
Right, and you're probably not likely to hit the like button on the platform that you see the content the second time around. That makes
Right.
sense.
So
Okay.
what I try to do is I drop it on Facebook. My Facebook and Instagram are connected, so I have to catch myself to not let things drop on Facebook and Instagram because I have an option to let it drop on Instagram or Facebook also when I post on Facebook, pictures wise. So I'll go in and I'll turn that off so it doesn't get back to Instagram and I can keep Instagram differently. Because if you look at my Facebook and you go through my Instagram, you'll think I'm two different artists.
Ah, that's something to look for then. You don't see any benefits in staying consistent with all of the posts and the content because like we discussed, people already have seen it on one platform. Now you're giving a reason to go find more content on different platforms from you. I like that approach. That's
And at the
smart.
end of the day, if you want to go into money wise, if you drop that on all different platforms, your views, they're not going to stack up. You're going to get those 15, say you got 500 views, but you dropped on 5 different platforms. You got 100 views per platform. Now you're not making any money on those platforms because you only have those 100 views. Now you drop one video on one platform. Now you got 500 views on one platform, and say you done ran into a buddy. Hey, I done seen this video. It was funny, or the track was cool, or da da da. Now let me show him. Now you're getting another view for that platform. They'll get on theirs. If they want to look at it later, if they want to show their friend, da da da, they're getting on the same platform. Now that's another view for that platform, and now you're making money.
Oh, that's another reason. Yes, the
If you
monetization.
flood all your social medias with too much of the same things, me as a person, I'm gonna take off everything I got you. I'm gonna take you off on all social medias except for one, because you post the same thing on all of your social medias. There's nothing new to see.
Right. Holy shit, I never even contemplated that. And my eyes are open
Oh
now
yeah.
to doing that. And
Big fact.
for somebody that is like you, who does a lot of different platforms content wise, that means I'm gonna be allotting a lot of hours now. Because I was one that was just reformatting the size specifically for each one of the platforms, which is really important, by the way. You know, if you're making content, you got to pay attention. Each platform has different formats for your pictures. Do you use like Canva or any apps to get the correct
Yeah,
sizes?
I use CapCut. I think that's all I use right now. I've been using some other things, but I run into uh, a whole lot of stuff you got to pay for and whatever, and I don't feel like doing all that.
So you're using a completely free program?
Yeah, CapCut is completely free. I don't think I've ever seen it try and make me pay for it. Let me see real quick. Oh, matter of fact, I think. Oh wait, let me see real quick. I can't remember. I've never been charged. Let me see. What's that say? Okay, so it's not completely free. If you want like their pro edition, like you can unlock all their features and materials and everything like that, so you don't have no limitations or anything, then you're coming out $80 a year,
That's still
or
affordable.
$70.99 a month.
Once again, you're making an investment in yourself. That's what, less than $7, $8 a month. That's definitely
Mm-hmm.
worth it. As
And I
opposed,
was put on Cap. My engineer and my videographer Johnny Day, he actually put me on the CapCut because he noticed that I was doing my snippets and everything on TikTok and whatnot. He told me to go on the CapCut, do everything on CapCut, then switch it to TikTok and do a couple edits or whatever. I did some extra Googling on like how to drop things. I always make sure I have 5 to 6 hashtags in it, no less than 7 words when I'm making in my captions. And for some reason, CapCut's kind of new, or it might not be new, but it's taken off. So for some reason, everyone who drops with CapCut, your videos blow up for some reason. I don't know
really?
why.
Well,
But
yeah, you just let
everything,
the cat out of the bag. Now everybody's gonna be using CapCut.
right? Yeah.
So really, you've seen an uptick in the amount of, views and likes that you've gotten just by using that app, CapCut?
Yeah, just by using it to edit my videos.
Wow. Holy shit. Yeah. These are great pieces of information. This is the type of shit that, I really dig finding out, because we can A, spend a lot of money, wasted money, on programs that aren't helping us, and B, we waste a lot of time. So money and time, big commodities. So CapCut right there, for you do it for videos and posts, or just posts, or just videos?
Just videos, anything like picture videos, moving videos, stuff like that. You can't use it for anything, for like making words, or like if you just want to type out a word post or anything like that. It's mainly for like videos and whatnot, so you can make edits and stuff.
Okay, what about audio? Are you able to import your own audio? Or
Yeah,
is
you can do all that.
Yeah. So I can like
Yeah.
have a video of images, you know, a running thing of images, and then upload or import rather a WAV file or an MP3 of my own original compositions.
Uh,
Because that's where I'm kind of finding a problem. I wanted to
see,
use my own music.
um,
I know Canva, what I
uh,
do is I
so
hide.
when you
What?
can do that, but what you have to do is you have to take the CapCut and you have to import the music from iTunes to a PC and sync it to your device. Or I don't know if CapCut, you can get the CapCut on like laptops or whatever. But if you can, it makes it a whole lot easier because you don't have to go to your device. You can just download it onto your
Right.
PC and then you download it from there because it has options for you to for extracted
The audio.
sounds from
Yeah.
your sound library, everything like that. So you can bring all that in and everything like that too.
Wow, that's really cool. And what about like stock images? Do they have stock photos, stock videos that you can get ideas from or use?
Yeah, they got a whole template page. They got like I'm telling you, like the template page is they have a template for following, they have a template page for you, they have a template page for lifestyle, they have a template page for TikTok, summer, marketing,
No
fitness, lyrics,
way.
velocity, effects, celebrities, fandom, everything that you can honestly think
Holy
of that you're gonna
shit.
put in.
That's what's
They're gonna
up.
show you different do everything. They're gonna tell you exactly what you need. So like some videos it'll be like you need 10 pictures or you need 3 videos and 2 pictures so you can do this and this and this and the third. Like it'll walk you through it.
What? So it's like coaching you through the entire process? That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
like yeah. Go onto the template pages. It literally says like right here for the first is the hangover meme. It says add 16 photos. I say meme. I don't like saying memes. I think the word meme is
Mimi.
funny.
Yo, dude, that saves so much time because I find myself fucking wondering for 15 minutes how many fucking photos I should put down for like a reel, so let's say, or something like
Yeah,
that. So this does all that work
gotta tell
for
you.
you. Holy shit. So what about, all right, talking about doing the work for you, how do you feel and do you use AI?
Okay, so I have used AI one time, and it was for the Leo season photo. I didn't have enough time to take a picture myself or do anything, that was thoughtful or thought of before I dropped the track or whatever. So I hopped on AI and I typed in Leo season, and I got what I got for the Leo season picture.
Nice.
I do not like the way AI does the makes the people look, or I just haven't found the right app to use because I got 2 different apps on my phone. It's an AI Arta and a Wonder app. I use the Wonder more than the other one. I'm actually about to delete the other one. I don't know why it's still on there, but Wonder is not bad. It's not what I thought it was. Like when I be seeing all the advertising for AIs and
Right?
everything that people come or not, honestly, they suck.
Yeah. I haven't
But
found one myself.
picture, but I needed a picture. That's it. I honestly probably won't ever use it again.
Damn. Yeah, I know I feel you when you're saying the people like don't come out looking like people or what you thought you were gonna generate from the AI. Especially because you see on
Right.
YouTube and all these other fucking posts, these people making dope ass
Some
like images and shit, and it's like you try to do it,
right.
it doesn't
But
happen.
then again, those are the people who are like who can create those AIs themselves,
Right. Yep.
who actually know how to get into their computer and deal with all these other, uh, programmings and everything like that. That's what those are. And they're just taking those videos and advertising them like you're able to do this. So they just make more money.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to touch on that with the AI industry, right? I feel that they're lying to us by
Oh, big time.
exaggerating what the capabilities are that we could use AI
Really do
for,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Because now I've seen the people on Facebook who have had who use the AI on Facebook or whatever, the little things that Facebook does or whatever to make you look like this or whatever, those look good because those are third-party programming doing it. You're not actually using the apps that you get on and you download to your phone to generate all of these things. So people who are, it's all for money, and that's what a lot of people miss. This whole world, they got to remember, the whole world is moved by money. If we don't have money, we're not doing anything.
No.
And if we're not doing anything, bum.
That's right.
No one wants to be a bum.
No, and
So they're going to have all these videos to make your AI could look like this. Your AI could do this. It could do this and the third. We can't do that. You might can, because you guys have the program to show us that this is how we want it. So you're going to get our money because we want to try this, and it's not going to come out anything like it. But you know, it's AI. Society likes it. So everyone else is just going to say, fuck it, I like it.
right. I feel like they're baiting us as consumers, and we're downloading the apps and we're struggling to come up with an image that represents a little resemblance of what these professionals put out there. And before you know it, you've paid $5 a week for some of these apps over a course of 4 or 5 months now. So you're looking at what, like fucking $100 that you're wasting before you even have a little bit of an inkling of how to make these images.
And
So
you probably use the app twice.
yeah, you probably or worst case scenario, you forget that you have the subscription and you end up paying for that shit all year.
See what I do when I know I'm subscribing to something, I use it then and there, and if I don't like it, immediately cancel.
That's hard to do sometimes, though. I find myself
Immediately cancel.
listen, sometimes I get a little lit and I download shit, and then I end up seeing the receipt like months later. I'm like, shit.
I like money a whole lot. Like money, that's my. If you ask me, pussy or money, I'm going money.
Money over everything.
I want the. So when it comes to spending money, I gotta. It has to benefit me in some major way in order for me to let go of that bread.
Well, that's what we were talking about before, investing in yourself, right? So that's what people need to really contemplate. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine yesterday on this topic about saving money. Look at this. You're going to put $10,000 away in a bank so that it'll grow interest over the years. That ain't going to happen. Not in today's society. So 10 years later, what do you gain? $1,000 on $10,000. So you got $11,000. But 10 years from now, that $11,000 is probably worth about $4,000. So you're losing $6,000. So why not take that $10,000 that you have today and invest in yourself? This way you can generate more money, and then you could level up. It's all about leveling up and being consistent.
It's one thing that when you're growing up and they tell you that saying, what is it? You got to spend money to make money.
Oh, that's
that's a powerful quote.
It is, because you could take it the wrong way.
That's a powerful quote, and I didn't realize that until you know, my life started. You know, not like, I mean, my life started when I moved out of my people's house at 17 and went to college and everything. But my life didn't start until I had my own bills and and I had to do some extra shit to get by. You know what I mean? Yeah. But once I found out that I can spend this here so I can get this there,
the world changes.
I'll never stop.
The world changes when you realize that. Definitely.
A whole 360.
Yeah, man. And that's something to really stop and consider, that money is just something that is temporary. You know, you have it, and
it's supposed to.
Yeah.
To me, it's supposed to be. You're not like, okay, yeah, you got billionaires in the world, you got millionaires in the world, whatever. Their money's temporary too. But what do they have to do to maintain that? They have to work. Therefore, they're not sitting on their ass or anything. All types of money is temporary. You ain't never gonna come into some money and be like, damn, I don't ever got to work again for the rest of my life. Now, if you're lazy and you're a bum, that's what you're going to do. But I guarantee in the next 15 to 20 years, if you're young, 30 years, you're going to be another bum because you ain't going to have nothing to show for it. But I promise you, if I hit the lottery today and I went and won 3 billion, million, like 500,000, I promise you I'm taking my ass to work still.
Yes, that's a tremendous piece of advice right there is, to always fucking continue to work, whatever it is, even if it's not your 9 to 5, work on yourself, but don't ever stop.
Yeah.
Don't ever fucking stop. And this brings us to what I like to always give for an ending of our little program here is one piece of advice that you would give somebody just starting in the music biz, whether they're a vocalist or they're making beats. If they're just starting today and they want to break into the community of musicians, what piece of advice would you give to the youngster?
The first thing I would honestly tell them is don't take criticism as someone talking shit.
Nice.
Don't let yourself be told something, because at the moment you do, you put yourself in a box and you can't get out of it.
Yes, that's beautiful piece
With
of
this
advice.
type of work, with this type of work, you can't listen to only yourself or only your friends if they're the type of people to tell you what you want to hear. Because when I first started making music, I didn't have a fan base. I didn't have people, my friends fucking with my music, because I was never a musician. I was never an artist. I was never a songwriter. I'm an athlete. I've done Olympic track. I do semi-pro football, but I had to learn how to take criticism, how to understand that this isn't them talking down on me or anything. And playing sports helped out a lot so I can actually understand it. My homeboy pulled up to my house one day and he looked at me and he said, "The song is you just dropped, my boy, it sounds like trash. It's horrible. It's dog shit. It's dookie, whatever you want to call it." Now I promise you, he's the only person that's ever told me that. Regardless if someone else has liked it or not. But he's the only person that has been honest with me enough to look me in my eyes and tell me that track was horrible. And from there, I've never made another track like that. And I've always made sure I've made a better track than that.
Thank
but I've
God
never
for
let
him.
somebody right. I'd rather have 1,000 of those friends than have 1 million of people tell me what I want to hear.
You don't want anybody co-signing your bullshit, right? Whether it be a
No.
shitty track or, just a bad behavior. That's what you need.
Because then you got a whole lot of ice spices in the world.
Right. That's what's up. Yes, exactly. Man, as King I Rise, dude, thank you for fucking talking to us again on a Murder of Musicians, man. Here at FX2 Studios, we always reach out to people that have been on the program that have something of value to give to the community of musicians coming up. Today's show, man, you really touched on so many great pieces of information, advice. We all know now that we're going to be recording our vocals in our appliances. That's what's up. I'm taking that from today's show.
Works.
That's awesome. Dude, so much good things to come from you. I know in the future we're going to keep our audience updated on all the releases. We have Leo season out now. We have Reborn out now. If you haven't listened to any of the tracks from As King I Rise, I tell you, you must start listening. Start with Rescue or Go Mode. Those are 2 tracks that I fucking love. And his new stuff, what we were talking about earlier, and look forward to some more releases coming out in the future. You can find all of his music at any of the platforms as we discuss, or just come to FX2 Studios. We have the link on featured artists and latest artists. Check it out. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciated you jumping on today.
Definitely appreciate you having me, my boy. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
For sure, man. Thanks again. Thank you for listening.